the April 11th, 2023 meeting of the DuPage County Board to order. I invite everyone to stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Colbert, will you please lead the pledge? And I'll ask everyone to please remain standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and now I invite Rahinder Singh Mago of the Community Outreach of Sikh Religious Society of Palatine to lead us in the invocation.
Good morning. Please accept my Sikh greetings. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Ik Onkar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Sahibang Gur Prasad. One universal God, pure truth, the creator being, fearless, without hate, eternal, beyond time, unborn, self-illuminated, realized by His grace, Waheguru, glory to God. In utmost humility and thanksgiving, let's take our mind and spirit to a realm where there's light, love, and peace, and God's boundless benevolence. O divine Vaheguru, we ask for your guidance and wisdom as we embark on a journey together as public servants today, recounting where we stand as a community through our great county of DuPage. At a time when we are witnessing immense division and a rise in hate and violence, please help us remember that we are all one human family. And as we learn from the wisdom of Sikh scripture, Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and other great holy books, that all human beings are a repository of the same divine light. All are capable of knowing God and receiving His blessings. Thank you, Lord, for your love, care, and kindness. Grant us will and strength to continue to serve you, our county, our country, our planet, and the creation. We are all one and interconnected. Let us pray that may God bless the residents of DuPage County, the council members, the county president, all supporting departments and their staff with goodwill and courage to make difficult decisions fearlessly to serve the people with empathy, compassion, and justice. We pray for your blessings of another successful day with successful meetings of minds for best solutions to tough challenges of the day. Let me not forget that serving mankind is serving God. Nanak naam chardi kala, tere bhane sarbat da bhala. May everyone prosper by thy will and blessings. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Thank you.
Please be seated, and clerk, please take the roll.
Cahill. Here. Chaplin.
Here.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Here. Desart.
Here.
Eckhoff. Here. Evans.
Here.
Galassi. Here. Garcia.
Here.
Guston. Here. Krajewski. LaPlante. Here. Ozog. Here. Rutledge. Here. Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Here.
And Zay.
Second. Okay, I'd like to invite Satnam Mago, and member Schwarzy to the podium, please. April is Sikh Awareness Month, and this year we are honored to welcome our guest, Rahinder Singh Mago and Satnam Mago, who are the residents of Wayne Township and who are the public and media relations representatives of the Sikh Religious Society in Palatine. Member Greg Schwarzy sponsored this proclamation in which we recognize Illinois' 25,000 Sikh residents. I'll read our proclamation and invite our guests to speak. Okay. Whereas Sikhs have been living in the United States for more than 120 years, and during the early 20th century, thousands of Sikh Americans worked on farms, in lumber mills, and mines, and on the Oregon Pacific and Eastern railroads. And whereas Sikhism is the 5th largest religion in the world, and there are currently more than 30 million Sikhs worldwide, with 500,000 Sikh Americans and 25,000 Sikh Illinoisans. And whereas Sikh Americans make rich contributions to the social, cultural, and economic vibrance of the United States, including service as members of the U.S. Armed Forces and significant contributions in agriculture, information technology, small business, the hotel industry, trucking, medicine, technology, and numerous other industries. And whereas Sikh Americans distinguish themselves by fostering respect among all people through faith and service. And whereas DuPage County is committed to furthering the diversity of its community and hopes to educate residents about the world's religions, the value of our religious diversity, tolerance grounded in First Amendment principles, and the culture of mutual understanding. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the DuPage County Board, do hereby proclaim April as Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month, and encourage our residents to better understand, recognize, and appreciate the history and shared experiences of Sikh Americans. Okay, thank you. Okay, approved this 11th day of April, 2023, in Wheaton, Illinois.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Mago and Mr. Mago for being here, and you've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, and it's so important, and not only have we gotten to know them as Sikhs, but we've also become friends, so thank you very much.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Satnam Singh Mago, and thank you for receiving me today. Thank you, Deb Conroy, and thank you to the board. I'd like to give a special thanks to Liz Chaplin, Greg Schwarzy, and Sheila Rutledge. They've been instrumental in getting a lot of this passed for us, so I do really appreciate all the hard work that those three have done. So I wanted to discuss a little bit about what I call the quintessential American faith. And I know when I say that, people don't, it doesn't tie into their brains of what I'm talking about. The reality is that Sikhism, and it can be called Sikh or Sikh, both are correct, it really is a religion that was founded out of protest. And so when we look at Sikhism, it came out of northwest current-day India and Pakistan, but it's the Punjab region. And so basically it was the breadbasket of that region, and it came out of 15th century northwest India. And so The lightning rod incident that formulated the religion was Guru Nanak Dev Ji, our founding father. He was our founding guru, our teacher. He was born in 1469, and he objected to the fact he was born into a Brahmin, into a high caste Hindu family. He rejected casteism from the get-go. He believed in equality. But the lightning rod incident was his older sister. She was not able to actually participate in a ritual that he was allowed to, simply because he was a boy and she was a girl. And so he basically was like, well, she came here before me. How does it make sense that I'm participating in something that she can't? So one of the things that he decided was that, yeah, this is messed up. People are equal. We are all one. It does not matter what race you are, what caste you are, what gender you are, what orientation you are. All of those things don't matter. What matters is who you are and what you do with who you are. And so I think that when we look at America, 1776, America was founded out of protest. We didn't get things right, and we still didn't get things right, and we didn't achieve independence until Juneteenth, 1865. But what we are a country founded on protest, on the ideals of equality and justice for all. And that's what Sikhism is also founded on. So what I would like to embark on all of you is, it is the quintessential American faith. We had these ideals of equality and justice. We even had women's generals in our militaries dating back to the 1600s. So when you look at even Joan of Arc, well, we did it before that, right? So like one of the things that I want everybody to leave today is we didn't always get it right, but we always strove for equality and justice. And that's what America does, and that's what we have to continue to do. Thank you.
Okay, Member Schwarzy, you may as well stay up here. It's all day Greg Schwarzy Day. Okay. Now we're going to talk about National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. And I invite Greg and Linda Zerwin. This week we celebrate National Public Safety Oops. Oh, okay, great. Gotcha. Okay, that's okay. Okay, this week we celebrate National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, dedicated to the men and women who serve as public safety telecommunicators. These are the people who take our 911 calls and guide us through emergencies. Member Greg Schwarzy is chairman of the Emergency Telephone Systems Board and a retired first responder himself. He and Linda Zerwin will help us honor these important professionals who do life-saving work. I'll read the proclamation and then ask our guests to say a few words. Okay. Whereas, since 1991, the second week of April has been celebrated as National Public Safety Communicators Week to recognize all public safety communications professionals who provide a central link to the public safety services on which citizens rely every day. And whereas the County of DuPage has 3 public safety answering points, including Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center, ACDC, DuPage Public Safety Communications, DUCOM, and the Village of Naperville, PSAP. For the enhanced 911 system servicing visitors and more than 877 residents of the County of DuPage and portions of Cook, Kane, and Will counties. And whereas these 145 public safety telecommunicators are first and most critical enhanced 911 contact to the public our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas the DuPage County Board acknowledges these 145 public safety telecommunicators for continued commitment to public safety dispatching, consistent quality and customer service, while maintaining the highest level of professionalism 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, along with members of the DuPage County Board, acknowledge the week of April 9th through April 15th, 2023, as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, and further express our gratitude to all the men and women who serve as telecommunicators. Do I have a motion? Okay, all in favor, okay. Enacted and approved this April 11th day, 2023 in Wheaton, Illinois.
I'm going to say a few words, and then I'm going to introduce the folks here. Then we're going to watch a 3-minute video, and then we'll finish it up with our executive director saying a few words. So, and anybody from the PSAPs if they want to speak as well. So again, thank you, Madam Chairwoman, for this wonderful resolution. I'm always so blessed to have the opportunity to be part of this as chair of ETSB. And it's my honor to be able to thank you guys for all the hard work you guys do all year long. This recognition, in my opinion, never gets the magnitude it really deserves, because these guys and these men and women, they save lives every single day. These telecommunicators are so vitally important to our everyday lives, but it's kind of normal just to take them for granted. We call 911 and we expect to get, the right vehicle showing up at the right address in the right amount of time for whatever the emergency is. And we kind of think of 911 as sort of this inanimate object, but it's not. It's these people that are answering the phones every single day. So, they receive millions of calls every single year. So, no matter what the emergency is. Some are more serious than others, but they are the people that are answering the call. So as Chairwoman Conroy said, I'm a retired first responder. I spent 28.5 years, and I know the intense difficulty of this job that they do every day and the pressure they face every day. Again, when seconds matter, a house fire doubles in size every minute. Someone having a heart attack that's not getting oxygen to their brain has 4 to 6 minutes before all is lost. And so these jobs, the pressure these guys face every day is just, it's amazing and remarkable. In this past year, our 911 telecommunicators helped deliver 2 babies. They saved 8 lives by providing CPR instructions. They saved 2 more lives by instructing how to do the Heimlich maneuver, and another life by showing empathy to a suicidal caller. Those are just some. That's not even a fraction of all the good things and all the lives they saved. As a group, they received multiple meritorious awards for their efforts. And again, I'm absolutely certain they are responsible for saving more lives than what I just mentioned. So I do want to introduce, so please raise your hand if I call your name. Telecommunicator Rihanna Miner. Telecommunicator Fabiola Valdez. ACDC Deputy Director Mary Lou Hernandez. Not here, okay. And our ACDC Director Bill Shrema. Those were all ACDC. Now from DuCom, Telecommunicator Kristen Monagold. And the Communications Supervisor Steve Perot. Not here, okay. And then from Naperville, telecommunicator Diane Tabor. No, okay. Telecommunicator George Hansen. No, okay. Okay, telecommunicator Dan Karchi. Supervisor Amy Kaczynski. And the director is Jillianne Chufo, okay, all right. So if you watch the boards, we have about a 3-minute video to watch when they're on their everyday life in the office, so to speak.
Late one night, heading on home, driving too fast, radio on, hugging that curb a little too tight. Now he's hanging on for his life, upside down and all alone, hoping he could reach his phone. 80 years old, watching TV, all of a sudden it's hard to breathe. She tries to get up, then hits the ground. Wheel of fortune spins around, stands up a prayer, thought this is it, as she pushed the button around her neck. They're the ones behind the scenes, every day and night. That friendly voice you need to hear when you're fighting for your life. Not every angel wears their wings, but they're always there for you and me. To them it's just a job after all, when they answer the call. 911, what's your emergency? She said, I'd like to order pizza, please. But then you reached 911, she said, I know. Can you say how long? Ma'am, is everything okay? No, it's 413 Maple Way. Is there someone in the room with you that you can't talk about? She said, yes, sir. Pepperoni, please. How long can it be now? I've got an officer a mile away. Can you stay on the line? She said, no thanks. I'll see you soon. I'll turn on my porch lights. They're the ones behind the scenes, every day and night. That friendly voice you need to hear when you're fighting for your life. Not every angel wears their wings, but they're always there for you and me. To them it's just a job after all, but they answer the call.
'em. We'll have Executive Director Linda Zerwin come up and say a few words.
Good morning. This is probably the best part of my job right here. Because everything we do at ETSB is to support what they do to help the community. And a little slow start on the video, apologize for that. But the first part of that was being honored by the 100 Club. So what you saw there was some additional awards and recognition. So to your point, Chair Schwarzy, that they're starting to get recognition as public safety first responders. And you know, if you're having a heart attack, you've lost your cat, these people do everything. They do it all, they're helpful, they're working with 211 now, there's 988, and I'm just so proud to be a part of people who are so dedicated. I mean, they can pull planes, you know? So they really are superheroes, and thank you for honoring them today, because it's my pleasure to bring this forward for National Telecommunications Safety Week. So thank you all very much for your service.
Okay, now I'd like to invite Candace Adams, the clerk of the Circuit Court, and the Keltner family to the podium. Last month, we lost a friend of this county board when Bob Keltner passed away on March 13th. Bob worked at the county for 38 years, most recently as deputy chief of the clerk of the circuit court. Today, Candace Adams and Bob's family are here as we honor Bob's life and his many contributions to the county. I'll read this proclamation requested by the circuit court clerk and then ask her to share a few thoughts. Whereas Bob Keltner began his service with DuPage County on October 21st, 1985 as supervisor in Support Services Department. Whereas after many years in managing the Records Department, he moved to the Criminal Traffic Department in 2012. And whereas Bob Keltner's outstanding dedication to his work led to his promotion to Deputy Chief of the Clerk of the Circuit Court's office in 2018, where he continued until March of 2023, completing 38 years of service to DuPage County. And whereas Bob's kindness, compassion, good humor, and reputation as a great listener made his office one of the busiest in the county, where coworkers often sought his wise counsel and valuable perspective. Whereas Bob loved dogs, riding his Harley motorcycle, and his colorful sock collection, but his all-encompassing passion for his family, to whom he was devoted, including Barb, his wife of 40 years, children Nicholas, Stephanie, and Lauren. Now, therefore be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the County Board do hereby honor the memory of Robert J. Keltner, Jr., Chief Deputy of the Clerk of the Circuit Court, and we further honor his nearly 4 decades of distinguished service to residents of DuPage County. Okay, all in favor? Approved this 11th day of April, 2023 in Wheaton, Illinois.
Thank you all. I'm here with every member of my management team today as well. I'd like to take a few moments to talk about Bob and what he meant to me in the office, and I've done run-throughs of this, and it's not gone well, so I'm hoping today goes a little bit better. Okay, as the chairwoman mentioned, Bob worked for the Circuit Court Clerk's office for 38 years, which is most of my life, but also most of his life. He worked in every department and rarely took off. He took his job very seriously and was constantly working to better the office. He became a pillar which many of us relied on. To me, he became a great friend. I walked into the office a newly elected Democrat and he a veteran Republican, and we were both better for it. He showed me the lay of the land and which landmines to avoid, and I showed him a new way to look at things, and that change could be hard but good. We respected and loved each other. There was an ease to our friendship with Bob, and he treated others that way too. He always had an open door, and many of the staff sought him out for advice and counsel. He was always happy to listen and always happy to problem solve. His absence is noticeable in our office. And while he loved his job, every day he came, and his coworkers, he loved his family the most. He loved the life he created with Barb. He constantly shared stories about his kids and how much he loved watching them become the successful adults that they are today. And he loved his brother Howie, who many of you know. He constantly told stories of the two of them and how they were thick as thieves. So to the Kellner family, on behalf of me and all the management team that's here today, we just want to say thank you for sharing Bob with us, and we are truly sorry for your loss.
Sorry if I can't hold it together. Bob loved his job. His job was everything for him. He loved everybody that had anything to do with the county, and especially the circuit court clerk's office. He considered everyone close friends, and he loved nothing more than hearing the personal stories and trying to help out with that. Had no plans to retire because he said he would miss everyone too much, and what else would he do but watch TV? So he had planned to stay, and he appreciated his 38 years here. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. We could clearly see how much he was loved on the faces of the people that were here. Thank you for sharing him with us. Diversity and inclusion presentation is up next. In 2019, the DuPage County Board updated its strategic plan, adding a diversity and inclusion imperative, stating that it would expand opportunities for our diverse population and for adults with disabilities to promote inclusivity among our employees, businesses, and residents. Since that time, elected officials and staff have worked diligently on several fronts as we implement the initiatives. Chief Information Officer Anthony McPherson has a brief presentation that will summarize our work to date and outline next steps. Anthony?
Right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, board members. So in 2022, last year in February, the Diversity and Inclusion Working Group provided a presentation to board members to kind of give you an idea of what we had done from that point and what we were doing moving forward. So I'm going to try to summarize what we've done over the past 4 years and spend a chunk of time highlighting the great initiatives, as the chair mentioned, over the past year, and then talk about where we're going to go from here with diversity and inclusion. Next slide. So this first slide, some of you may have seen before. So in this particular slide, it really highlights where we're going to go and what are the major stops along the way. The creation of this was to really help us focus on the major parts of diversity and inclusion and supplier management, and what we're going to do to kind of get to where we needed to be as a county. So the first area that we focused on, and this framework also is a framework that's used by a lot of organizations that are trying to grow diversity and inclusion. So we kind of mirrored our strategy and roadmap based on that. So the first step is really just the planning piece. So let's plan, let's validate, let's create a mission, vision, eventually goals once we get the data that we need to understand where our disparities are and how we address them. And let's put a framework in place, including a tool to kind of track those things, track the data, track where we're going so that we can address it. Second item in 2022 and 2023 was really to validate what we have. So that's what we're doing with, and I'll talk more about it, the disparity study and the results that will come soon in August of this month. The planning committee and the work group was just to validate what we're doing along the way. And then in 2003, 2004, the next step is really to create the structure, the goals behind it, the vendor inclusion goals, mentoring, training, and other programs that support diversity, inclusion, and supplier management. And then also in 2023, it's important for us, and we have it on roadmap, to communicate and train staff, right? Communicate what our goals are, what our initiatives are, train the staff so that they know what to look out for in their contracts, so they are also aware and they communicate those things out. And then last but not least, in 2024, our focus will be to measure how we're doing, review it on an annual basis, and then reevaluate and make adjustments as necessary. Next slide. So, yep. So that's where, that's our roadmap and what we're following. We, of course, will adjust our plans and what we're doing as necessary with guidance from the board, from our chair, and experts out there as well. So this is what we've done so far, and starting in 2019, the county board amended its strategic plan to include imperative number 6, which the chair mentioned earlier, that focuses on diversity and inclusion. And then also in 2019, we brought in CH Advisors, Colette Hope's company, a national expert on diversity and inclusion, to come in and provide us a business enterprise program development report to kind of give us an understanding of our operations, help us develop a pilot program that involved a lot of our 4 departments that have a lot of contracts and professional services, so Department of Transportation, Public Works, Facilities Management, and Stormwater. And then in 2021, the county created an ad hoc diversity and inclusion committee that we reported to and provided information for. We also developed a working group which involves a lot of the department heads and others who are directly impacted by diversity. I guess we all are, but quite a few of us, and those of us who've had experience with implementing these types of programs in the past. And then 2021, we also received funding from ARPA, $179 million, which essentially funds our diversity and inclusion initiatives, and will from over the next few months until the end of ARPA 2026. Then also the county board approved and allocated $952,000 in 2021 for the delivery of any expenses that we needed to support this initiative. So that addresses staffing, our tool that we implement, and also a disparity study. And then also a portion of that goes to the Connect DuPage, Choose DuPage new initiative, Connect DuPage, which is an initiative that proactively brings in minority and women-owned businesses, small businesses, to connect them, educate them, train them, and provide them with resources. And then 2022, we contracted again with CH Advisors, the Colette Hope company, to develop a disparity study. The goal of the disparity study is to collect data from the past 5 years, use that data to determine if there are disparities or not. If so, what are those disparities? And also to help us identify if we have the minority women-owned small businesses out there to help us, to help address the gap, okay? I just want to underscore here for that particular item, that there's no way for us to create goals or to really move forward without data, right? Data is important, and that initiative is critical for our next steps, which I'll talk about in a little more detail. And then also in 2022, we identified a diversity tracking tool, B2G Now. You've heard me say it in Tech Committee and provide updates, but B2G Now allows for us to track our minority, women-owned, and small business spend and interactions with them as well, and be able to report on in the future. All right, also in 2023 in April, this month, the 17th, we're actually going fully live. We started the implementation last year. Over the past couple of months, we have had it in pilot mode, and we are confident that the data that we need is in the tool, and we're able to now fully track our diversity participation and also reach out to those diverse communities using this tool. And so that happens on the 17th. Also, we are hosting the group, of course, led by our Madam Chair. Under her leadership, we are hosting the Doing Business with the County Vendor Fair. So it's Tuesday, April 25th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. Here in the 521 building in the auditorium. Lot of action-packed agenda planned for diverse businesses. Want to help them get certified. If they're not certified, we want to make sure they understand our procurement processes along the way, and then understand what we're trying to do in the world of diversity and inclusion. So a lot to cover there. Also, in this month, April of 2023, we're also working on a strategic plan. Of course, the county strategic plan, which will, of course, include a diversity and inclusion component. And then in June, Colette Holt will complete the disparity study, wrap it up, and in August of this year, we'll present the findings of the disparity study to you in one of our meetings on August 8th, okay? So you'll find out more about the process, you'll find out the findings, and the recommendations on how we should move forward as a county. And then in 2023, that's when the real hard work starts. The goals will be created, policies will be created, and then the team will move forward with how to implement programs to attract and maintain diverse businesses and small businesses within DuPage County. All right, last but not least, I just want to talk about the remaining phases that we have here, just to give you an understanding of where we were and where we're going. So between 2019 and 2023, we're in the process of developing the program, and the meat of it is the disparity study, getting those details, getting that data, using that data to create goals and policies for us to move forward. But beyond, in phase 2, beyond 2023, the ultimate goal is to fully integrate and implement the diversity programs that we develop throughout the entire county, in IT and other organizations. Right now, the pilot program, again, our focus really on those 4 public works organizations, but we want to expand it to beyond that moving forward. 2 key things, again, April 25th, it's a big date for us and for our community. We are inviting minority women and small businesses to come and participate. I think last time we have a capacity of 200, and we were growing close to that number, so it's going to be a full house there. And then number 2, in August, that's when the disparity study will be shared. The information will be shared about the data they collected from the past 5 years. It'll identify if there are actually any disparities within DuPage County. If there are, what their recommendations are for addressing those things. All right, so I'm going to take a couple of questions, but let me say this before we start with questions. So I am a part of a large working group, and I want to give the working group credit for all the work that's done. It's not just me. I stand up here and I present to you, but there's a group to my right who has done a lot of the work and support, and who continues to support me and hold me up. So I'll answer the questions, and they'll help out as necessary.
Okay, Member Chaplin.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation, Anthony. It's very exciting what we're doing. I just had one question. The April 17, 2023 rollout of the BG2, which is going to be the tracking software, is that going to help us meet the intent of that law that was passed a couple years ago? Where
it is.
That's a perfect. Great.
Yeah. So we already have in place a mechanism to adhere to the law. So we, the IT department, created a tracking tool that we currently use. B2G now is a more robust tool that allow for us to keep track of it moving forward and then report on our diversity activities moving forward. So the answer is yes.
Great, thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Okay. This morning, I'd like to thank police, fire, and emergency teams who were called into action on March 31st when a tornado touched down and traveled 1.6 miles from Lombard to Addison. The storm was one of several that ripped through the Midwest and South that Friday night, leaving at least 4 people dead in Illinois. We were fortunate that our residents remained safe here in DuPage County, where we only experienced property damage. During these spring storms, we are grateful for our county teams that work together, protecting our residents and our communities. Public safety, campus security, stormwater, transportation, public works, and especially our Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, who worked around the clock over that weekend, assisting the Village of Addison and coordinating damage reports. I spoke to Mayor Veenstra and assured him then and now that the county would assist in any way possible. We are waiting to see if our damage totals make us eligible for any kind of state or federal relief. If we do qualify, we will get information to our residents as soon as possible. And again, as Anthony mentioned, please note that we are hosting our workshop, How to Do Business with DuPage County, on April 25th. The event will take place at 1 p.m. here in the JTK Administration Building, first floor auditorium. And thank you to DuPage, Choose DuPage for co-sponsoring. I look forward to seeing everyone there. Okay, on to the matter of public comment. On the matter of public comment, according to our county board rules, members of the public shall be afforded time to address the board. Individual remarks shall not exceed 3 minutes in length, nor shall the total time provided for all remarks exceed 30 minutes. Our first speaker is
Michael Clueless, speaking on 30 West 771 Butterfield Road.
Great, thank you. Thank you everyone for taking the time to meet with us today. My name is Michael Clulo. I'm with the applicant BK Acquisition 6 for the site on Butterfield Road in unincorporated DuPage. I work with Venture One Real Estate. We're an investor and developer in the Chicago area, headquartered in Rosemont, Illinois. We've done a lot of investment development in within DuPage County on different municipal levels and have had a great amount of success with the different municipalities and as well as the county. So we're looking forward to continuing that working relationship. Regarding the site on Butterfield Road, really what we're asking for is a confirmation to continue using the site as it has been used over the past 24 years. The site is currently used as an RV storage yard, and we kind of be looking for a similar use on the site, and really just swapping out the RVs for trailers or contractor equipment or material. We believe the use is consistent with the surrounding properties, with Seaper to our east and a FedEx terminal to the east as well, and then vacant land to your south and to your west and to your north. So it's a consistent use that we feel really are looking for a confirmation. In addition to that, we're requesting to continue using the setbacks that are currently being used at the site. This will allow for a future tenant to maneuver the site both efficiently and safely. We are planning on making significant improvements to the site. That includes landscape enhancements as well as upgrading the current house as a residential home to more being a commercial use for a future tenant. We're doing all this on a speculative basis, really in hopes of attracting a corporate tenant and a large, kind of national tenant that can use the site as it has been used over the last 24 years. So thank you again for all your time.
Next speaker is Daniel Dwyer regarding O'Hare sound insulation.
Thank you. Dan Dwyer from Medina. I was here a month ago, if you recall. I just wanted to start first with a thank you to the chair and your staff, Mr. Loper reaching out. The following meeting, he did a presentation at the Transportation Committee. And I don't think as a resident you can ask for more as far as an immediate response to what is a timely issue with FAA reauthorization this year. And to that end, just understanding how long residents have waited. This is year 18 of OMP, and they've only reached about the halfway point of sound insulation. And it's not an unrealistic scenario where you could buy a house in DuPage County, get married, raise your kids, put them through school, graduate school, your first grandchildren retire, and still be waiting for sound insulation from the city. And so given that they're only at this halfway point, I guess the ask is that the pressure continue, that this can't take another 18 years. That wasn't the plan. It's not the residents' fault. This is 10 years behind. It's not their fault the FAA underestimated the impacts. And I'm not one of those residents. I'm well outside the contour. But I've met hundreds over the years. So again, I appreciate your diligence and look forward to some action. The city needs the pressure. It's just not a priority for them. And I respect that's their expertise. They have different priorities, but it has not been sound insulation. Thank you.
Next speaker is Steve Burning regarding item 10B, VK acquisitions.
Morning and happy sunny day. As I was walking in this morning, I was thinking about all the smiling faces I might hope to see today. I am a 41-year DuPage County resident. I'm your last farmer in DuPage County. I've owned the Butterfield Road RV and boat storage property for 24 years. Very successful with 230 RVs sitting there, going in and out. And the VK acquisitions is one that I see very similar in nature to what I've done. In fact, I had a special use permit to allow me to park against the fence. Well, in reality, I never did park against the fence, because you got to open the car door or the van door or the door to get out, so you're always realistically 3, 4, 5 feet away from the fence. And we've got 5 signatures from 5 different landowners, neighbors, and a resident that's between FedEx and the landscaper. And they all said, great, no problem. We don't see any issues. Continue to do what you're doing. So I wanted to address the fact that the hardship thing was maybe not really truly addressed properly or adequately or maybe to your satisfaction. And the way I looked it up in Webster's dictionary this morning, I say, well, what the heck, why not? Try to figure out what hardship really means. It's hard to say. But what I've summarized is that it means safety. And the property is long and narrow. It goes down, you can't see from the road. You can't see when you're on the property, you can't see the road. There's no neighbors except for one. And the safety is because when you're turning vehicles, you've got to have an adequate turning lane, and you need width and length. And that indeed is the safety part, not only for the vehicular traffic, but for anybody walking in the vicinity. So we do need the safety of, continued safety for the future owner. With that, I thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Next speaker is Karen Rugg regarding flooding.
Tasca 2014, then someone, Ed Buga, referred me to Jim Zay Water Management. Where is it, County Board? When is it? 7:30 in the morning, first Tuesday of the month. I came. He said, how much room do you need for a swale? Ed Buga responded, 6 feet. People built a $1.5 million house next to me. Never got the swale in. Jim Zay did nothing. I'm still coming back here. I'm like the man that just spoke. And I'm like the other man. Hardship is safety. Then, 3 houses down from me is a medical building, a 144-bed medical building. This kind of sickened me. Welcome, I asked them to give you these. Welcome to DuPage County. DuPage County government's mission is to ensure that our communities will always be desirable places to live. Is it desirable, Mr. Childress? Work. People work in that 144-bed building. Continue to flood out. Raise families where we all feel welcomed. I never feel welcome coming here. I went to your office 4 times on Ardmore, and not once did you respond to me. So I bet you your colors haven't changed now that you're a chairperson. Next, you always say, oh, that's not us. DuPage County Stormwater Management Planning voted recently approved recipients for the Improvement Grant Program. Now that's in Itasca, and the Forest Preserve of DuPage built a berm and a roadway that floods it out. The water comes from the roadway, drops down to the bike path, into a cul-de-sac that washes right into the street in that building. So, oh, we can't do anything, it's municipality. Who is he given $3.5 million to? Glen Ellen Park District, that's real important for workers. Village of Westmont, aren't those municipalities? The Village of Glendale Heights, Village of Downers Grove, Williamsport Condominium Association, that rate's better than a 144-bed medical building. Lake Hinsdale, Village Bank Restaurant, Village of Willowbrook, Bloomingdale Alliance, Fairfield IV. How come all these people rate over a 144-bed medical building with sick and dying people?
Ms. Rugg, your 3
Yes.
minutes is up. Could you conclude your
Well,
remarks?
there's one more page you can read it about DuPage County Board issuing disaster proclamation. That building is a mile from your Addison, which you gave money to. Why don't you give some money for the disaster? Rain comes down on everybody, and it causes flooding. Thank you. Please read these. I'm going to stop scaring myself from coming here. I'm going to keep on coming till I'm dead.
The next speaker is Peter DeFilippio, speaking about Russo zoning variance.
Okay, on a little different note here. So I'm here to conclude our request for a zoning variation for the lot for Mr. Russo, who is sitting here with me today. He's owned the property for 30-plus years. We are asking that we reduce the lot size to 14,233 square feet. The reason for that is we want to develop the property for more affordable housing. The property is not being used at its highest and best use currently, so we're asking the DuPage County to review this, conclude it, and so we can eventually develop the lot to provide affordable housing. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, on to the consent agenda. I seek a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Item 7A, 23-1475, DuPage County Board Minutes, regular meeting, Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. 23-1317, 324, 2023 pay list, 23-1326, 327, 2023 auto debit pay list, 23-1337, 328, 2023 pay list, 23-1416, 331, 2023 pay list, 23-1436, 2023 pay list, 23-1455, 2023 Corval wire transfer, 23-1329 Treasurer's monthly report of investments and debits and deposits, February 2023, 23-1449 change orders to various contracts as specified in the attached packet. And now on to item 8, County Board Member Michael Childress. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to approve? All in favor? Okay. Member Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today I rise to present 5 appointments on your behalf. I start with item 8A, the appointment of John W. Demling to DuPage County
Second.
Ethics.
It has been moved and seconded. Please, roll call, please.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge.
Aye.
Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. And Chaplin.
Aye.
Okay, Member Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on to item 8B, the appointment of Michelle Clemens to the DuPage County Ethics Commission.
Leave is granted, Member Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on to item 8C, the appointment of Suzanne Cahalan, hope I pronounced it right, Cahalan, to the DuPage County Ethics Commission.
Leave is granted, Member Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving on to item 8D, the appointment of Rebecca Stout to the West Chicago Mosquito Abatement District.
Leave is granted, Member Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on to item 8E, the appointment of Merle Burley to the West Chicago Mosquito Abatement.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Childress. And on to Finance and Member Liz Chaplin.
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair. I move approval of FIR 010423, acceptance of an extension of time for the DuPage Care Center Foundation Music Therapy Grant.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. And Cahill.
Okay, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 010523, acceptance of an extension of time for the DuPage Care Center Foundation Recreation Therapy Grant.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 010623, acceptance and appropriation of the DuPage County Care Center Foundation Recreation Therapy Grant in the amount of $21,173.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 010723, acceptance and appropriation of the DuPage County Care Center Foundation Coordinator Grant in the amount of $28,474.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 010823, budget transfers for 1123, various companies and accounting units.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 010923, approval of an extension to the grant agreement between the County of DuPage and DuPage PADS for a new agreement end date of March 31st, 2024.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIO 000123, amendment to the county recording fee schedule for state increase to rental housing support program surcharge.
Oh, there's a question. Member Colbert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a really quick question. Is this going to have any effect on rent rates in the county, or totally unrelated?
I don't believe so.
Okay, if there's a surcharge, so I'm just.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, I don't believe it. This is a fee that the state's putting on. So
no-
yeah, I don't think it would
No
do
adverse
anything.
impacts on, okay, thank you.
Okay, leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIO 000223 ordinance amending Chapter 33, Article 7, Real Estate Transfer Tax, and Article 4, Real Estate Transfer Tax, and Article 7, Land Trust and Transfer Tax of the DuPage County Code by restating and amending the previously established county tax on the privileges of transferring real estate and beneficial interest in real estate.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIP 000423, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to SHI International Corp. for governmentjobs.com, doing business as NeoGov for licensing for e-recruiting, employment onboarding, and employment form software for human resources, in the amount of $376,551.77.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of 23-1431, Supervisor of Assessment staff to attend the State of Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board hearings in Springfield, Illinois from April 17, 2023 to April 20th, 2023. Expenses to include transportation, lodging, miscellaneous expenses, per diem, total county cost not to exceed $800.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. And finally, I move on 23-1432, Supervisor of Assessments staff to attend State of Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board hearings in Springfield, Illinois from April 24, 2023 to April 27, 2023. Expenses to include transportation, lodging, miscellaneous expenses, per diem, for an approximate total cost to the county of not to exceed $1,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Chaplin.
Thank you.
And on to development, and Member Tonator.
Good morning, Madam Chair. I move approval of DCO 0014-23, zoning 22.
Second.
52 Russo. This is to approve a variation to reduce the lot size for two lots with well and septic from required 40,000 feet each to approximately 29,672 square feet for lot 1 and 14,233 square feet for lot 2, as well as a variation to reduce the required lot width from 125 feet to approximately 95.74 feet for lot 2. This will require a 3/4 majority vote to pass based on the Development Committee's vote to approve and the Zoning Hearing Officer's recommendation to deny. If I can, before there's going to be any questions, just so the board doesn't think that the Development Committee was acting as contrarians on the date that on the day we had this. The reason, my recollection for the Development Committee's vote to approve this was that there were similar lots in the area. That lot 1, the smaller or the larger lot requires a septic system, which would require a larger square footage, and lot 2, the smaller lot, has what we were told was a bio-barrier system which required less land, therefore allowing the well and septic to provide the sewer and water efficiently on these properties. We were also had questions of staff on that date that were answered obviously to the Development Committee satisfaction. That was the reason that the Development Committee voted to approve, even though the Zoning Hearing Officer voted to deny. And Jessica Infelice is here from Building and Zoning in case anyone has any questions. Sorry, Jessica.
Member Zay for a question.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to be a no vote on this. This is not current with the Keeneyville area. Again, we have reduced lots in half. This is not a half. This is a 29 and a 14 square foot. I'm starting to wonder on bigger issues, I understand why we might disagree with the ZBA, but for smaller issues like this, they go through the Zoning Board of Appeals, they go through the meetings, they hear the evidence. There's criteria you have to meet. There's 8 hardships on there, which this meets none of them. I mean, that's great that they want to do affordable housing, but again, why do we have a ZBA if we're not going to follow their lead?
Member Zay, just to be sure, this was a Zoning Hearing Officer.
Zoning Hearing Officer, okay,
So you
well, if we're not going to follow the Zoning Hearing Officer, then maybe we need to get rid of it and just decide in development. I mean, they hear this information, and again, it's not, we don't have, from what I looked at, there's not lots this size in Keeneyville, and I'm going to be a no vote.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh,
Well, I was also going to be a no vote on this because I read in the packet that the petitioner testified that if sewer or water were available to the property, that they could have a lot of 10,000 square feet. And that indicated to me that well and septic is not preferable because you don't want well and septics on every single lot in every single subdivision. However, as Mr. Tornatore said, there's going to be a biobarrier septic system installed in this, which is a new system that actually turns the waste into water, drinkable water. I'll try that. But anyway, much better system than what we've got before. So what I would ask is if this biobarrier septic system is the equivalent of bringing well and septic to the property, that we amend our zoning code, and I'd ask Jessica and Paul Haas to talk to the health department about that, so that instead of bringing these items before the hearing commissioner and the development committee, they can just slide through because they won't be asking for a variance anymore.
okay, for the record, that was Member Eckhoff. Any other questions? Okay, Member Desart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we heard why the Development Committee voted to approve. I'd like to hear a little bit more on why the zoning officer voted to deny. Thank you.
There we go. Sorry about that. So the hearing officer recommended to deny simply based on the fact that they didn't present evidence for a hardship or practical difficulty, simply that they wanted to divide the land, and that although subdivision might be appropriate for this area, many lots in Keeneyville have subdivided, they've been equal sized. And so that relocating a septic system wasn't possible for the petitioner. He felt that wasn't a hardship. So that's why he recommended to deny.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further questions, it has been moved and seconded. Please take the roll.
Tornatore.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Aye.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Majewski. LaPlante.
Aye.
Ozog. Rutledge.
Aye.
And Shorzy. 14 voting aye, 3 voting nay.
Motion passes. Member Tonatore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DCO 15-23, zoning 22-00061.
Second.
BK Acquisitions LLC to approve a conditional use for open storage of trailers and materials and a variation to reduce the interior side setback from 20 feet to 0, as well as a variation to reduce the rear setback from 20 feet to 0. This would also require a 3/4 majority vote based on the Zoning Board of Appeals vote to deny and the Development Committee's unanimous approval. Again, if I could just recap what happened. All the surrounding areas of this property are either there's a landscaping business, there's a power company, there is no issues from neighboring landowners. The surrounding areas are all basically the same. This is actually a reduction, as we understood it, from approximately 230 RVs that are being stored there to about a third of the number of trucks that would be there. Again, there were some questions of staff that were answered to the satisfaction of the Development Committee, rendering the 5-0 vote at that time. It will require a 3/4 majority or 14 votes today to pass.
Okay, question, Member Rutledge.
Seconded, correct. This is in my district, so I just want to speak to this item. It's an industrial piece of property. There's only one neighbor, and they are not objecting to this. It has been used at this purpose for at least 10 years, and so they're looking to bring it into compliance. Oh, goodness, no property owners have a problem with that. And from my perspective, I see absolutely no downside to approving this, other than an increase in the property taxes that we'll collect because of this variance will allow, or conditional use will allow them to sell the property. So I am fully in support of this, and I hope that my fellow board members will come along with me.
Okay. Member Zay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also my district, and again, we're looking for, first of all, shame on us if we didn't catch this, and then there's people who've been using zero setbacks for the year and rear and side setbacks. We're giving this developer a blank check. We're actually going to approve this. They don't know what's going to go there. It says it in the testimony. They have no specific user. They said that today in public comment. So how can we approve something when we don't know what's going to go there? I mean, I don't understand this. Again, didn't meet any of the hardships. And guess what a hardship is? We've done it for 25 years, so we're going to continue to do it. Is our problem. We should have picked that up. But again, we don't even know what's going to go there. How can we approve something when they say they don't have a specific user? We're giving them a blank check on this. Sell the property, come back with a user, and then ask for the variance. That's the way it should be. And again, so this is in my district, and I disagree with Member Rutledge, and I'm asking for a no vote. Thank you.
Member Evans?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm a little concerned about this too because there are no actual plans. But my question is maybe for Jessica. It says conditional use for open storage of trailers and materials. What kind of materials? We don't know what they're bringing in, right? What constitutes materials? Like piles of gravel, junk cars? I'm a little worried. I'm concerned about that.
So the open storage and materials, that's similar to like a contractor. So per the code, a contractor, if it's a specific contractor like electrical, roofing, steel, they have the ability to open store. When you're not a contractor, you need to request a conditional use to do that. So it could be landscaping material, any type of contractor material, but we didn't receive that information.
Okay.
And if I might, Madam Chair, just, and I'm not advocating one way or the other because that's not my position. Just to be sure, it's much more difficult to sell property if you don't know what the zoning is going to be for a particular purchaser. So that's the reason that most people ask for the zoning changes before the sale. Also, let's not forget, whatever's going to be put there has to follow our code. We just can't put hazardous material there because it wouldn't be following the county's code. So it would have to follow whatever the county allows currently under our code, if that's the concern of anybody. But Jessica, I'll defer to you on that one. If I'm wrong, let me know.
So hazardous material, that would be another conditional use, and it's very regulated. So this would just be for standard materials, outside storage, similar to how you see for, like I said, contractors or landscape contractors usually use a large one. So whether that be equipment or trucks, in this case, open storage includes trailers or commercial equipment for a non-contractor. So it could be any of the above.
But that's speculation because they gave us no information on it, so you're just speculating on it. It could be. But
Per
you
the
don't know
code,
for sure.
yes, per the code, open storage, it could be equipment, trailers, material, which requires the conditional use.
Okay. Member Childress?
Just for clarity though, it cannot be hazardous material, correct? Per our code.
Correct.
Okay. Seeing no further questions. Oh, Member Rutledge.
Just one last comment. I just want to reiterate, this is an industrial piece of property, so those things are, a lot of those things are included in that description, and none of this is visible from the road or any of the other properties except for the landscaper next door, which has no problem with this, so.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Tornatore.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante.
Aye.
Ozog. Rutledge.
Aye.
And Shorzy. 15 voting aye, 2 voting nay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes my report.
Thank you. And now we will go to Member Rutledge for a committee update on environmental.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. Trying to get my computer to wake back up again here. For my committee update, the members of the Environmental Committee received an email from Joy Hins, I think it was only Environmental Committee, asking for, we would like to collect clean, handled plastic or paper grocery bags so that we can get those to the food pantries. They're vital to get those supplies out to our constituents in need. And the other thing I want to collect is, this is a bread tag. And Kamakina Scarce can collect these. And just to kind of give you an idea of what such a small item can impact our landfills is, they make benches out of these, or they give them to a company that provides wheelchairs for children. I love Shark Tank, and last Friday night I was watching it, and a woman was on there, and she came out with a stiff cardboard flosser. Now, if you think of those little flossers, a lot of plastic in those. And she opened up an umbrella, and they rained down 3,000 of those little flossers. And literally all around her, it was thick with those little flossers. So I guess that's the point I want to make about what such a small thing is still clogging up our landfills. And if we can repurpose things like this, I'm not asking you to collect flossers, I'm asking you to collect the bag tags, but I have a bag here at my place. If you're out and about and people want to give them to you, and we can just place them in here, and then the grocery handle bags will be collected in the cafeteria so that we can get those to the food pantries to help them as well. So that's my report. And then I will also move an approval for ENR 0015-23, the resolution of support for the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus Greenest Region Compact. And I just want to read a quick Thank you. A quick paragraph. The member municipalities of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus seek a vibrant, sustainable future for their communities in the greater Chicago region, and the consensus goals of the Greenest Region Compact aim for enhanced quality of life for residents, protection and stewardship of the environment, and sustainable economic vitality. So I fully support this.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Rutledge.
Aye.
Shorzy. Tornatore. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. And Ozog.
Okay. And on to Human Services and Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on item HSR 4323, authorization to apply for federal fiscal year 22 and federal fiscal year 23, section 5310, grant funds from the Regional Transportation Authority.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Shorzy.
Aye.
Tornatore. You. Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. And Rutledge.
Okay, Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on item HSR 4423, a recommendation for the approval of a contract to Yami Vending, Inc. for managing beverage and snack vending machines at various locations on the DuPage County campus for the period of April 5th, 2023 through March 31st, 2024, per bid number 20-012-CARE, second and final of 2 one-year optional renewals.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item HSP 5323, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Bright Star Care of Central DuPage to provide supplemental staffing for the DuPage Care Center for the period April 13, 23 through April 12, 24, for a total contract amount not to exceed $450,000 per renewal under proposal number 21006-CARE, the second of 3 one-year optional renewals.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item HSP 5423, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Maxim Healthcare Services, Inc. to provide supplemental nursing staffing for the DuPage Care Center for the period of April 13th, 2023 through April 12th, 2024 for a total contract amount not to exceed $120,000 per renewal under proposal number 21-006-CARE, second of 3 one-year optional renewals.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on item HSP 5523, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Nova Staff Healthcare Services, Inc. to provide supplemental nursing staff for the DuPage Care Center for the period of April 13th, 2023 through April 12th, 2024 for a total contract amount not to exceed $950,000 per renewal under proposal number 21-006-CARE, second of 3 one-year optional renewals.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item 23-1393, travel request for database and report specialist to attend the WellSky Services Homeless Management Information Systems Training to support HMIS and Continuum of Care staff to further address reporting and data needs. Travel to convene June 11, 2023 through June 15, 2023 in Overland Park, Kansas. Expenses to include registration, transportation, lodging, and per diems for approximate total of $2,817.50.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on item 23-1394, Senior Services Manager to attend the mandatory Regional Ombudsman Quarterly Meeting and Long-Term Care Advisory Group meeting in Springfield, Illinois from April 18th, 23 through April 20th, 23. Expenses to include lodging, miscellaneous expenses, and per diems for approximate total amount of $560.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On this next one, I need to make a motion to amend this with regards to the dates to say April 25th and April 26th, not April 27th and April 28th. Yesterday, late afternoon, we received word from the organization that they actually gave us the wrong dates on when the event was.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please, on the amendment.
Schwarzy.
Aye.
Tornatori. You. Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante.
Aye.
Ozog. And Rutledge.
Aye.
Okay. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I move on item 23-1407, amended to say Community Services Administrator to attend the United Way 211 meeting to discuss future state funding for 211 and potential marketing for 211 in DuPage County. Meetings will be held in Springfield, Illinois from April 25th, 2023 through April 26th, 2023. Expenses to include lodging, miscellaneous expenses, and per diems for an approximate total amount of $460.50.
Leave is granted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Schwarzy. And Judicial and Public Safety, Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to, for my committee update, I'd like to invite everyone here to our next JPS meeting on April 18th. We will be having a short presentation from Merit, which is the Metropolitan Emergency Response and Investigations Team. It's a countywide task force of highly skilled law enforcement professionals. And after the presentation, on behalf of Chair Conroy, we will be presenting Merit with a certificate of appreciation. So stay tuned for that. And then next, I would like to move on JPS CO 000323, recommendation for the approval of a change order amending purchase order 61830001 serve issued to Bond, Dixon and Associates as
Second.
Special Assistant State's Attorneys for the County Clerk to increase the purchase order in the amount of $100,000, resulting in an amended purchase order total amount not to exceed $200,000.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Aye. Guston. Aye. Krajewski. LaPlante.
Aye.
Ozog. Aye. Rutledge.
Aye.
Schwarzy. Aye. Tornatori. Aye. You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Aye. Chaplin. Aye. Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. And Eckhoff.
Okay. Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to next move on JPSP 005123, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Axon Enterprise, Inc. for the purchase of 6 Axon Fleet in-car camera systems for the period of May 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2028 for a contract total amount not to exceed $95,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Evans.
Thank you.
And now we're on to legislative and Member Desart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At our next Legislative Committee meeting on April 25th, Brian Namey, Chief Public Affairs Officer for the National Association of Counties, or NACO, will share with the committee members the benefit of NACO membership and how members can become more involved with the association. Also, the committee will be voting to amend the county's 2023 federal legislative agenda already to add 3 pieces of legislation that would address freight rail safety issues in response to the recent train derailments in Ohio and the Surface Transportation Board's recent decision to approve the merger between the Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern Railroads. So an important committee meeting. I hope you could join us on April 25th. In Springfield right now, they're on break, but we're nearing the close of the spring session. April 28th, the substantive bills need to be passed out of committee in both chambers. May 11th is the deadline for the third reading in the House bills in the Senate, and May 12th is the deadline for the third reading for the Senate bills in the House, and then they both chambers adjourn on May 19th. Something else of note that I wanted to bring to your attention: you can't watch the news without hearing about the unusually high rate of Hyundai and Kia thefts, especially in Chicago. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, along with 22 other attorneys general, are asking Kia and Hyundai to take swift, comprehensive action to help remedy the crisis of car thefts that has occurred as a result of the company's failure to equip vehicles here in the U.S. with anti-theft immobilizers. According to the attorneys general, from approximately 2010 to 2021, Hyundai and Kia failed to equip base vehicle models with anti-theft immobilizers, which prevent the vehicle from operating without a key or a key fob. So if you're a DuPage County resident and you drive into the city, in 2022 alone, there were over 7,000. In 2022 alone, 7,000 Hyundai and Kia thefts in Chicago, and that accounts for 10% of all registered Kia vehicles and 7% of all registered Hyundai vehicles. So Kia and Hyundai recently announced a customer service campaign to upgrade the software of the affected vehicles. However, Raoul and the coalition said in a letter that the plan is insufficient, incomplete, and long overdue. These anti-theft immobilizers appear to be standard on Kia and Hyundai models sold in other countries, and these attorneys general want them to be standard here in the U.S. as well. That is my update. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Public Works, Member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. I move to approve FMP 005023, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Desmond Inc. to provide professional architectural and engineering design services to complete the repair, maintenance, and long-term capital improvement and asset management goals for the 479-509 parking decks on county campus for facilities management for the period of April 11, 2023 through December 15, 2025 for a total contract not to exceed $304,260.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante.
Aye.
Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatore. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans. And Galassi.
Okay. Member Garcia.
I move to approve FMP 006123, recommendation for the approval of a contract to G&W Canada Corporation to furnish and deliver 2 linear puffer load brake switch gears for the Judicial Office for Facility Annex for Facilities Management for the period of April 12th, 2023 through April 11th, 2024 for a contract total amount not to exceed $41,010.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Garcia. And Stormwater and Member Zay.
Morning, Madam Chair. Move on SMP 3423, recommendation for approval of contract to Xylem Water Solutions for the purchase of 3 Flyget NPA 3531 pumps at the Elmhurst Quarry Flood Control Facility for the amount not to exceed $1,117,795.85.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Zay.
Aye.
Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski, LaPlante,
Aye.
Ozog, Rutledge, Shorzy, Tornatori, and you.
Okay, Members A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on SMP 3523, approval of contract issued to Robinson Engineering for on-call professional engineering services for stormwater management, the amount not to exceed $95,000.
Leave is granted. Members A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on SMP 3623, recommendation for approval of a contract between DuPage County and V3 Construction to provide professional native vegetation management for stormwater management, the amount not to exceed $75,000.
Leave is granted. Members A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on SMP 3723, recommendation for approval of agreement between DuPage County and NCAP to provide professional native vegetation management services for stormwater management, the amount not to exceed $100,000.
Leave is granted. Members A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on SMP 3823, recommendation for approval of an agreement between DuPage County and Pizzo and Associates to provide professional native vegetation management services for stormwater management in the amount not to exceed $50,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Members
Madam
A.
Chair.
Technology and Member U.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on TEP 005323, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Titan Image Group to furnish and deliver printed business envelopes for DuPage County departments for the period of April 11, 2023 through April 10, 24, for a contract total amount not to exceed $116,800.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galasi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski, LaPlante,
Aye.
Ozog, Rutledge,
Aye.
Shorzy, and Tornatori.
Okay, Member U.
Thank you. I also move to approve 23-1382, a request to have an IT staff member attend the Illinois Counties Information Management Association 2023 Spring Conference in Chicago, Illinois, from May 3 through May 5, 2023, for a cost of $500.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member U. And on to Transportation and Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to report a lot of the things we're asking for today on the Transportation Committee mean that road building season is starting and spring is here. I'd like to go ahead with approval for I move for approval of DTCO 004323, recommendation for the approval of an increase of $15,000 to contract purchase order 5797001 serve issued to
Second.
Northern Contracting to furnish, deliver, repair, and install guardrails as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period May 12, 2022 through May 11, 2023. Amended contract total amount not to exceed $44,900.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge.
Aye.
Shorzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galasi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski, and LaPlante.
Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTR 005823, awarding resolution to Maneval Construction Company Incorporated for DuPage County Fairgrounds parking lot improvements for an estimated county cost of $353,014.45 per low bid, county to be reimbursed 100%.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Before I move on, this past one, I want to thank the clerk's office for applying to the Illinois Election Commission for this grant. So this will be improvement to the county parking lot at the fairgrounds that will be reimbursed by the state. Okay, thank you. I now move for approval of DTP 005623, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Al Warren Oil Company Incorporated to furnish and deliver automotive lubricants as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period of April 12th, 2023 through October 11th, 2023 for a contract total not to exceed $30,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Okay, look at this page of road improvements. I move for approval of DTP 005723, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Plote Construction Incorporated to furnish and deliver bituminous paving materials for the western region as needed for the Division of Transportation and Facilities Management for the period April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024
Second.
for a contract total not to exceed $51,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Okay, it's been, roll call, please. Moved and seconded.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge. Shorzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston, Krajewski, and LaPlante.
Okay, Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 005823. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to BCR Automotive Group doing business as Roche Ford to furnish
Second
and
most
deliver
favorable roll.
Ford motorcraft repair and replacement parts as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period May 13th, 2023 through May 12th, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $70,000 per renewal option under bid award 2028 DOT, third and final option for renew.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thanks. I move for approval of DTP 005923, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Vulcan Construction Materials to furnish and deliver coarse and fine aggregates as needed for the Division of Transportation, Public Works, and Facilities Management for the period April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $95,000
Second.
per lowest responsible bid.
Okay, we need a roll call, so make a motion. It has been moved and seconded. Okay, roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge. Shorzy. Tornatori. You. Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Covert.
Aye.
Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston, Krajewski, and LaPlante.
Aye. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 006023. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Ozinga Ready Mix Concrete to furnish and deliver Portland cement concrete as needed for the Division of Transportation, Public Works, and Facilities Management for the period of April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $100,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Second.
No.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge. Shorzy. Tornatori. You. Zay. Cahill. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Covert. Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski, and LaPlante.
Aye. Okay, Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 006123, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Duquesne Asphalt Company to furnish and deliver bituminous paving materials for the central region as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $110,000 per lowest responsible bid.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 006223, recommendation for the approval of a contract to K5 Construction Corporation to furnish and deliver bituminous paving materials for the southeast region as needed for the Division of Transportation and Public Works for the period April 12, 2023 through March 31st, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $139,000.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTO 004923, ordinance declaring the conveyance from the Village of Lisle to the County of DuPage of right-of-way and construction easements necessary and convenient to the County of DuPage for improvements along County Highway 3 Warrenville Road over the east branch of the DuPage River.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge. Shorzy. Tornatori. You. Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski, and LaPlante.
Aye.
Member Ozog.
Okay, everybody, I have 3 more items. Please, if you remain in your seats, I would appreciate it. I move for approval of DTO 005023, Ordinance approving the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Lyle Park District for land conveyance related to the improvements along County Highway 3, Warrenville Road, Bridge over East Branch of the DuPage River, Section 14-0012404, county cost $7,500.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of 23-1292, Director of Transportation County Engineer to travel to Bloomington, Illinois from May 8th, 2023 to May 10th, 2023 to attend the 2023 spring meeting of the Illinois Association of County Engineers. Expenses to include registration, lodging, and meals for an estimated county cost $887.25.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
And finally, I move for approval, and thank you, Madam Chair, for 23-1314, DTR 0313A21, amendment to Resolution DTR 031321, issued to Lorick Construction Company for I-355 Noise Abatement Wall, Section 20 and Northwest to increase the funding of the amount of $20,000, increase in the amount of $20,000, resulting in an amended total amount of $360,420.50.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay.
And thank you to the Department of Transportation for these future smooth roads. Thank you.
Okay, and 23-1479 is the pension obligation is required by the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act. So now we're on to old business. Okay?
Thank you, Chair Conroy. First, I will say thank you to Member Desart for talking about the NACO webinar next week. So for our new members, if you want to know a little more about what NACO is about, I'd suggest that, and we'll make sure you get that information. And Member LaPlante, thank you for bringing to my attention when I asked for bags for the food pantries, I inadvertently said plastic. It's paper because, in my opinion, plastic bags spawn in the night in our cabinets. So paper, 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 please. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rutledge. Anyone else? Okay. Member Guston?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let people know that the Woodridge Outpatient Center is actually having a wonderful open house. I know we're focusing on mental health and mental health awareness and providing more beds and expansion for our Department of Health. It is Stress Awareness Month, so we tend to kind of want to overeat. But the outpatient center open house is actually going to be focusing on eating disorders. So if anybody would like to be, I did put brochures in everybody's locker, and I'll leave some here. But it is open to the public, so if you know anybody that would like to participate or go to the open house, it's open for everyone.
Great. Member Covert?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say thank you to the clerk's office and Adam Johnson for listening to constituent and my concerns and questions and being very responsive. So I want to thank you for that. And also, I completely agree with Member Rutledge about her recycling efforts and all this. It's great work. I just wanted to make it easier for the public to do. So maybe we could have some. Right, because I think the problems that I hear, the concerns that I hear from other people is it's hard, we don't have time, I can't do it. So maybe if we make recycling and reusing easier for people, we'll move in a faster direction, positive direction. All right, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Member Desart?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask some advice from the state's attorney. And that is that, and this might be something you have to look at and get back to us, but during public comment today, one of the public commenters mentioned by name 3 people in this room. And generally after public comment, we're not allowed to debate or speak after public comment. And I know that one of the members has been to that public commenter's property several times, gotten every single department involved in that issue. And I think that, I don't know, you can tell me if it's wrong, but the minute somebody mentions a member by name, I think the 3 minutes should be up. I just don't think it's fair to the member being mentioned that they're not allowed to respond or I just don't think it's right that people can mention people by name and spew lies, untruths about that person, and then they just get to walk off and be done. Just my comment, thank you.
You can't prevent them from mentioning somebody's name.
Chair? Member Chair?
Oh, I'm sorry, Member Guston.
I actually agree with Member Desart. At the city, if someone would come and speak about somebody on the dais, stop it now, I'm defending you. We were able to, the chair or the mayor would actually curtail the individual from directly speaking to that member or that city council member. And that worked well. It worked well. I will say that individual who was here speaking about what she was speaking, I met with her and I gave her names for high up in, HUD, who does some funding for those senior facilities. And so she has contacts that can actually assist her in whatever her concerns are. But my understanding is that hadn't gone the way that she wanted it to go. And so there's only so much jurisdiction that you have over certain private property, particularly in that situation.
Okay, thank you, Member Guston and Member Desart. And for the record, I did not have an office on Ardmore, and Itasca was not in my state house district. Not while I was serving in the General Assembly. Thank you so much, Member Eckhoff. Okay, any new business? Seeing no new business. Okay, all in favor? The meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at 10 a.m.